live. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Wow, I see people in the chat already. Just getting my screen back so I can see Melissa. Hey, Melissa, thanks for coming.
Hey, good to be here. Good to be here.
And she's going to deal with me 2 days in a row. I don't know how she does it, but she's here today and tomorrow. So
yeah,
welcome. Are you still sharing the link or are you good to go?
I'm good. I posted it.
Oh, see, you're so good. She's really good with technology, so she's a great one to learn from. I am super slow in figuring things out, but
Oh, you've got this.
we're getting there. So we were just talking about our classes. Let us know in the chat how your classes went. We both had some pretty hectic mornings. Do you want to tell them about yours really quick before we get started? What'd you say? You had like 5 minutes to get everything ready, right?
Yes, it did. I woke up 5 minutes before my first class today, so that was a lot of fun. And I had four level ones back to back. So I was just saying, like, my floor is awful. There's like octopuses and elephants and ostriches, and it's gonna have to stay that way till like 2 because I'm booked up till 2 today. And I'm tired. I feel like I've got my workout in. I should have worn my Fitbit. I probably got my steps in too because I stand with level 1.
It broke last night.
No. Oh
no. Okay, well, let me introduce us. My name is Casey Oswald. Thanks for coming. I see we have 7 in the chat. Thank you guys all. If you have questions for me or for Melissa, please put them all in caps. And yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I have been with VIPKid for 3 years, a little over 3 years, and I love it still. So I like to tell people that, like, my favorite thing still is to teach the classes, and I typically teach 5 to 6 classes every morning. Although recently I've started taking off Sundays, and I know we talked about this, like taking a break. That was one of the collaborations that we did. But I feel like it's helped me maybe not feel so burnt out. So what I do is teach, I make sure I teach 6 classes every day. I get up 30 minutes earlier. So that way I'm not really losing a class. I'm just getting a day off on Sundays. So, and then I also work with and train teachers and applicants with the mock class process, helping them in that mock prep class that you go to before your mock class. We kind of help you understand, train you on what they're looking for. And I enjoy that just as much. It's, one of my favorite things is to help people join this company, people that are looking for an opportunity to be at home like I was. So I was homeschooling the kids, but I needed to do something to help the family financially. And so whenever I find somebody like that, I always try to help them because, at first we were like, I need to make $500. And it's just been so much more than that. It's been financial help, but it's been professional growth. It makes me feel like I have a sense of purpose. I'm using my degree. So I just love to help people join as well.
Great. And what did you do before VIPKid?
So I actually graduated with a communications and political science degree. So I did communication and media for campaigns. So in the Washington and Virginia area, and also some campaigns in Montgomery, Alabama, I was on the media team. So like, the press releases and the press conferences, things like that for the campaign. But once you have children, it's really hard to do that because you have to travel a lot. And so like right after we had children, I didn't do anything. And we was like, boom, boom, boom. 1, 2, 3. You're a mother.
Well, you did a lot.
Yeah. So I didn't do anything outside of the home. I was stuck there pretty much with my babies. I loved it, but you're right. I was doing a lot, but not working outside the home. And then once they started getting school age, I jumped into teaching. I began with preschool and subbing some at the elementary school that they went to. And then when we moved to Georgia from Montgomery, I decided to homeschool. And at first it was just kind of like what we were going to do to fit it because we moved in the middle of the year.
Oh,
So
yeah.
at first I was like, we're just gonna, I can do this. Like I've had a degree, I've taught,
Right.
and I have the curriculum available, friends who were willing to help me. I said, this is what we're going to do to make it till the end of the year.
Mhm.
And then it ended up that we all liked it. So 8 years
Good.
later, we're still homeschooling. So.
Wow, that's great. Good, good. I'm about to sneeze.
Okay.
So, really quick, if I'm looking down, guys, I have her notes, her questions, and if I'm looking over here, I'm looking at your questions. Hopefully I didn't miss anything at the top, but
Yeah.
I'm going to scroll down a little bit to see. Let's see.
I see Kelly. Kelly asked me whose campaign I worked on. So I worked on 12 campaigns before getting married. So Easily was one of them. I worked on Easily and Early. I worked on Sonny Berdue's campaign here in Georgia, and McKinney's campaign in Montgomery, Alabama. So they were all pretty much local, state campaigns.
Mm-hmm. Melissa always beats me in the chat. She's a lot faster than me because I read slow. So I didn't say hi to everybody. Let's see. Deborah's here. Amy, Teacher Kelly Tag, Laura. Hey, Laura.
Laura says she taught a student in Shanghai Disneyland this morning.
I just read that. Yes. She was dressed in Mulan.
Yes.
Mulan's my favorite princess. Let's see. I look, James is here. Janie.
Yay, James.
James, Deborah, Susan.
And Charles. Hello, Charles.
Where's Charles? Oh, I just saw him. He's at the. Hey, Charles. I thought I missed him.
I went to Shanghai Disneyland. It was super cool.
Did you? I need to go. I've been to Tokyo. I've been to Paris and Florida. So I need to go to Shanghai. That'd be super cool.
I like that.
I think you already answered what your why was for VIPKid. So let's ask you about your schedule.
I answered that too.
Well, you did.
So I jumped ahead of you.
How long have you been in VIPKid?
So 3 years, a little over 3 years. Getting ready to sign that next contract. 3 months, I think, in 3 months. So
good. What's your favorite prop, reward, and level?
Okay, so my favorite reward is this ice cream reward. And so when it actually comes with like 10 scoops, but when I first started, we were doing classical conversations. Look at that, and there's a group from actually my recruiter, Joni. She has a group for classical conversations homeschool moms that are also VIPKid teachers. It's grown amazingly in the 3 years, and so I started in October, and for Christmas we had like an Elfster giveaway or whatever, and this is what I got sent, and I loved it. I mean, I can honestly say I have used this for 3 years. Sits on my desk, pretty much use it every day. Color, reward, eating, everything. So prop and reward, I say, for this one.
I love this one for trial lessons too, because you can be goofy, you can drop your scoops and the kids are like and laughing. And
and I actually gave one away in my Facebook group, VIPKid Friends. I gave one away for Teacher Appreciation Week. Like you will use this. It's one thing, I don't think teachers think about it, but they you get it and then you realize, oh yeah, I'm going to use that so much. So
that's a great one. What about your favorite level?
So my favorite level is level 3, which I know is an unpopular opinion probably, but I feel like they have enough English background that they participate a little better. They understand, they're comprehending what's going on, but they're also young enough that you can still have fun. Right?
Laura and I were talking about level 3 yesterday, and the animals and things. Oh, Candy, that's a good question. She wants to know, what prop did you buy but have never used?
Now I'm gonna have to think about that.
Yeah.
Now, I will say that I have this dino puppet. Like, this is also going to be probably an unpopular opinion. I have the dino puppet, but I hardly ever use it.
Oh, really?
If I want dino, I just get dino, right? Which, I just turn around and get dino and use it. I think if his mouth opened, like if his,
oh yeah,
that I would use him more. But since it doesn't, it's just as easy for me to grab the little dino. So.
yeah. I don't have the plain dino, so it's either my puppet dino or like the dino dog and things that are hiding behind there.
Is that a puppet dino?
This one, yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It looks different than mine.
You think so? I thought it was the same.
Yeah.
I think it's the same.
Yours has the cute eyes. See? Cute dino, the new cute baby dino, and then the older dino. I feel like yours has the cute eyes.
Funny. See, I don't notice things like that. You guys know that by now. Candy said hers is too. She bought a puppet that she's only used once.
Yeah. And I was so excited to get it too. And then like I rarely use it. So.
Huh. I can't think of any. I'm sure there's some tucked away in the drawers. Oh, yes. I thought I was getting this ice cream when I first started that people were like always talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't, and I bought the wrong one, and they don't stack. So I have a whole drawer of unstackable ice cream scoops.
Oh.
Super fun. Okay. Are you ready to add games to the classroom to talk about that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Question on here.
So I like adding games. Like I said, I like to make it fun. And that's one of the reasons I like level 3, because, they're old enough to kind of follow along, understand the silliness in the games, but also young enough to be silly and have fun with you. And it also varies, right? You could have a level 3 that's struggling with those days of the week and months of the year right at the beginning. And then by the time you get to unit 5, you're pulling your teeth out with reptiles and mammals, right? Or you could get the student that is advanced and wants to go fast and is a little bored, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with both of those, I have began to incorporate games, I began actually years ago incorporating games. And this actually stemmed from my homeschooling, because I have some boys who would rather do anything than schoolwork. Right. So I'm like, hey, guys, let's do math. And they're like, can I take the trash out, Mom? So I had to find a way to keep them engaged and keep them learning without them really knowing that's what I was doing.
Right.
And so I developed all these fun games, they're very competitive. They're, 19 months apart. Wow. So you are, they're very competitive. And so we would play these games. And so I started to see kind of the same characteristics in some of my students. And I was like, how can I incorporate games? And at that time, there was no workshop on games. There was no workshop on sort of making boring slides fun in the classroom. And so I kind of felt all alone in this sea of I want to make these lessons a lot of fun. And so I found a lot of ways to incorporate games. And I actually have some videos. One game that I mention a lot is Jenga, like where, you pull out the blocks and people are always like, how in the heck do you play Jenga?
I almost bought it thinking, okay, she's going to show us how to use it, but I didn't buy it yet until I see how you use it.
All right. So let's watch. I have a video here. I'm going to share my screen and my sound because that's important. And so this is my student Edward, level 3 here. So uh-oh. It's not going to keep him covered up. Is he covered up for you?
He's covered up for me.
Okay.
He's not covered again. Oh!
110. Standard 110. 10.
Oh, it fell.
that's how I do that. It kind of started in the middle, but you can see like in the beginning, he gets really excited. Like he tells me to pull one and it doesn't fall.
Oh.
And you can kind of see that he gets really, really excited about that. So they get into that. So that's how I play Jenga. This is word form and standard form. So I actually bought dollar store Jenga games, off-brand Jenga games, and I wrote on them. So on two sides, I write a word form and standard form numbers, and on two other sides I have actually some blends from level 3, and so they have to pronounce that blend and give me a word before I try to move that block. So that's how I play Jenga.
That's great.
And you can see that he got into that, right? He enjoyed it. So, and I got, he became a regular, and I get feedback from his mom, like, thanks for making the class fun, because Edward is super smart, and he's also very resistant to repetition. So any kind of repetition correction I give him, he doesn't like. So this is how I get that repetition out of him. Like, I'm going to put it into the game that we play, the reward game. And I, he's saying it, he's getting that pronunciation practice, but he doesn't even really realize it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is one just inside of a curriculum slide that's provided. And I know we talked about that, but I just wanted to show this example, like with the dice. So what you're going to see here is actually me using a digital die that I pull up with my Minicam, but it doesn't have to be that way. You guys, I did not use Minicam or anything digital for a year and a half. I was strictly, my laptop camera and my props, my 2D props and my 2D rewards. So please don't feel like when I'm showing you all these that you have to do it this way. You have to be this fancy, because you don't. You can absolutely just have, a die like this where you put the number on it and still play a game like this. Now, Edward's super smart, right? Edward wanted to go a little resistant. This is Apple, who is struggling a little bit in that month of the year lesson. So this game on the curriculum slide did two things. It allowed us to finish the slide without having to pronounce every single month of the year. And it also made it a little fun where there was a reward.
Ready? Go. 2. 1, 2.
2.
What's that?
Is February.
Good. Ooh, 5. 1,
1,
2.
3, 4, 5.
Ooh, what's
4.
June?
June.
Good. Ooh.
1 is January.
June. July.
July.
July. Good.
July.
Ooh.
Yeah.
1, 2.
So here I'm going to make it a little fun for her.
4,
right? She's struggling.
5,
she might be feeling
6.
7.
A little intimidated.
6.
She got those wrong, needed correction. So I'm going to make it a little fun with the alligator.
What?
So yeah, that's just two good examples of kind of in with the slides, and then sort of outside of the slides with a game that I like to make it fun. And of course I have lots of fun games, cards. I always kind of plug my card game because it's easy, it's fun. Most people are going to have cards in their house. So let's see, you just simply hold up the cards. And you don't explain any of this, right? We're still level 3. We're still ESL teachers. So I'm not going to use a lot of words. No incidental language, you guys. So I'm just going to hold it up. I'm going to say red or blue. And the student will pick a color. So let's say they pick blue. So I'm going to turn it over and it's 9. So we'll say 9. And then I'll turn the other one over and I'll say 4. And, you know, and they'll be like, oh, 9 is greater than 4 if we're in, you know, that math lesson, or then I'll say 9 wins if we're not. But then either way, I'm going to type into the chat box, you know, Kevin 1, teacher 0, wah, wah. And right there in 25 seconds, they figured out we're playing a game. So the next time I hold up my card, right, they're going to pick a color and they know they want to pick the higher number so they can win.
Good.
Love my card game. And it is my most asked for prop. I have one parent who will never leave me feedback unless her son wants to play that game. And then I will get 5 apples where she said, can you play cards next game? And that's all she'll say. And so, you know, they asked for that and it's super simple.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Did you see, you have a question in the chat. Do you think teachers should be able to block students they don't want to teach?
I think, yeah, I guess personally, I think, yeah. And we're independent contractors, and with the American definition of independent contractors, we should be able to determine who we work with or who we work for. However, I don't think that works at all with the VIPKids model. I think that's going to be a really hard sell to the company because I mean, all their advertisements are, you get to choose your teacher. And so, you know, and I know there are ways, and I saw actually a post about it this morning. There are ways where they can make it not really visible that they were blocked. They just didn't see the teacher. But it is, VIPKid is still very word of mouth in China. They share the teachers on WeChat, on Weibo. They tell their friends. They tell people at their school. And so, I mean, like, I teach probably 8 children at the same school in Guangzhou. You know, and it took me a while to figure out that I did that. And I kept thinking, I figured it out actually when I went to China, because I was trying to figure out who was in Beijing and Shanghai so I could meet them. And I figured out that so many of them were at this one school. And so it would be really easy, I think, for the parents to find out that that teacher was still teaching so-and-so's child, but they couldn't see her. And you have to remember, with any business, right, the customer is always first. So I don't see that working with the model, because they would end up with a lot of upset parents. And I did talk about this with one teacher that's in the VIPKid friends group. And I don't know how many of you have classroom experience, but when you are a brick and mortar teacher, you don't get to choose who's in your class. And just because you have the bad student that's spitting on everybody or takes his shirt off every day in kindergarten, you don't get to say, I don't want to teach that kid anymore. You have to teach them, and you really, it makes your job a little bit more difficult, but I find that it makes it more rewarding when you figure out how to get to that student. How are you going to see their light bulb turn on? So I had a student, Ethan, that I dreaded it. And I actually stopped teaching at night over Chinese New Year because I was like, this kid is awful. He would turn his camera off. He was level 4, and it was like, you've got to use sentences. And so I would keep repeating full correct sentences for him to repeat, and he didn't like it. He would turn his camera off. He would tell me no. He would tell me let's go. And I dreaded it. And his parents just kept rebooking me. And so I put into the feedback, I said, Ethan is, a nice boy, but he doesn't seem to be enjoying our classes. Perhaps you need to look for another teacher, because I want him to enjoy his classes with VIPKid. And the mom gave me feedback, and she said, I want him to use full sentences. We will book. Okay. So even though he didn't like it, his mom was like, this is why we're coming to you.
Yeah,
you're the only teacher who didn't give up because he turned the camera off or he said no, and you kept being persistent. And I will say that I still see him. I don't teach night anymore. They've moved to taking my classes in the morning. And of course, Chinese New Year was like January, February, right? And here we are in June, and I have seen, I'm not saying it was easy. I'm not saying that I didn't take a couple of deep breaths before all my classes, but I've seen the the corner turn, right?
Yeah.
And so now I can simply go like this when he answers the question, and he knows I'm looking for that full sentence. And if he still doesn't give me a correct sentence, I'm not going to say something that he has to repeat. I'm going to type it into the chat box and he's going to read it. Now, he might not be really excited about it, but I figured out that works for him.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want to be parroting the teacher back and forth. He's 11, almost 12. So anyway, that's my story. Difficult student, just keep working with them.
Some of the most difficult ones will become your most beloved ones.
They will.
They will, because you put so much time and effort into them. And, you're going to have I will say, my friend Tyler, you've all heard about him. He has more good days than bad now. Today was not one of them.
Yeah.
But he's doing better. So Laura, yes, Laura and I talked about you kind of have to laugh it off sometimes.
Yeah, you just have to laugh. You have to have fun. Remember, it's 25 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
You can do it for 25 minutes.
You can.
Yeah.
You can. Good. Let's see, Deborah, I had a child like that. He would do the same things, would ignore the lesson, would read a book during class until I contacted the fireman. When mom came in the room, he spoke and read fine. Yeah, my friend did that today when dad came in and he goes, "Oh, my dad."
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Children are children everywhere. If they can get away with it, or they think they're getting away with it, they're going to do it.
I want to remind everybody or let you know that Melissa's channel is in the chat box, and we'll have to add to that later too, because you also work for another company. Yes.
Yes. So I also work for OutSchool. I got on the OutSchool bus before it was cool. Because I was a homeschool mom, I used it to supplement here at home. And then I decided, I was teaching at homeschool co-ops, which meet one day a week. And then I was like, well, I could do this too, because you get those credits that you can use for classes, and you can pass them on to somebody like your husband, who can then sign your children up for those free classes. So we I use that. And also I did it after VIPKid. So I do think that VIPKid is valuable experience for OutSchool. Because with this company, you are used to being on the camera in that video feed. You already know about keeping the students engaged, in interacting with every student. It is going to be more than one student in OutSchool, but you've kind of got that background. You've got that foundation. But I don't do a lot with OutSchool because I have sort of grown with what I do in VIPKid, joined that builders program. So a lot of my daytime hours are filled with VIPKid. So, I say I list about one class every 2 months or so. I'll list it. It'll be like a week and a half later, and then I'll teach it. But I enjoy it. And I am able to teach those political science classes. And so I've actually just listed my other class. We're going to talk about elections, how elections work, political parties, how did we end up where we are now in the presidential election. And then I have a 6-week course that's going to follow the presidential election. And so we're going to talk about paid media, free media, campaigns, platforms, the conventions and the history of the conventions. And so I'm excited about that. So I am able to teach things that I'm excited about, things that I'm interested in on OutSchool.
And what age group is that for?
So I say 14 to 18 is what I say for my election classes. But I do teach, well, that's not true. I think I put 12 to 18 for like just the election overview. Like this is how it works, the electoral college, and what's a caucus, what's a primary, all that kind of stuff. I think 12-year-olds can handle that and really are starting to get interested in that. But for the other one, where we're going to follow the specific election for 2020, that one is a little older, 14 to 18.
And you've been with them for 1 year, I think you said?
I've been with them for a year. Yeah. Well, it was a year in April. So what? Like I've lost track of time. We're
a little over a year.
So
I know today I'm asking a student, like, what day is it? And really, I had no idea. I'm like, wait,
whatever you say, it's going to work.
I have Melissa's interviews this morning, so it's Thursday. Got it.
Yeah, so I highly recommend that, especially if you're looking for more daytime hours. Because I was really enjoying VIPKid, but I was teaching 8 classes in a day.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, it was hard to do that. And when you're done, guess what? Your kids get up and now you have to school your own children. And I found that I wasn't as excited or happy about that. And we started doing a lot of independent study in the Miller homeschool, right? It was like,
Yeah.
here you go. And then mom would like lay down on the couch. And then, 2 hours later, I'd wake up and have like worksheets all over me. So I figured there has to be
Like
a better
taping them.
way. Yeah, it's like, oh, I guess they're done, So I had to find a way to take care of myself, not be so exhausted. And that's kind of where OutSchool came in. So I could lower the classes I was teaching so early in the morning, but still, have that income in the daytime.
Great. Do you have anything else you wanted to say about OutSchool before I switch gears? Anybody have any questions about OutSchool before I switch gears?
I will just say, don't be afraid of it. It does say you have to make your own curriculum, but you guys, like, that's super simple. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to share a screen, that you have to have a PowerPoint that you're sharing. I can help you do that. If you want to learn how to make Google Slides, they're super easy. I can help you do that. But you don't have to do that. And a lot of times with the littles, and I've done this, especially over the summer, and I'll do it again probably in July, is what I call my Dr. Seuss classes. And so I'll read a Dr. Seuss book. We use my little Abeka phonics cards, and we'll focus on whatever the phonics focus is in that particular book. And then we'll make a craft. So like I'll read The Cat in the Hat and we'll focus on at. Right.
Yeah.
And so I'll help them figure out what words rhyme with at. And again, it's simply a whiteboard and cat, hat, mat, fat, pat, man, no, and they all laugh and it's funny because it doesn't rhyme. But that is good with like the Brady Bunch Zoom view, right?
Yeah.
So they can see you and they can see the other students. That's what the little kids want. So while I've prepared to read a book kind of dramatically and with expression, and I've gotten a couple of phonics cards that I had laying around to kind of focus on that. There's nothing on the screen. Like I've prepared nothing that I sent to the parents or that I have to grade or that I have to share. So that was super simple, super simple.
Great. Let's see. Laura said, I am in OutSchool, but I do not have the time to teach right now. I love that I do not have to teach right now, but can wait until a better time. Yeah,
absolutely. And there's like I said, I've maybe taught 10 classes in a year, in a couple of months. I mean, there's no maximum or minimum. Again, just like VIPKid, you're like, oh, hey, this is a good time to teach this class. That's when you list it.
Right. Good. Are you a YouTuber?
I do have a YouTube channel. It's kind of sad, but it's there. I think there's like 12, 14 videos, and about 10 of them are my podcast that I've just had transferred over to YouTube. So if you wanted to listen with it in the background as you did your feedback or something, I started that podcast a little over a year ago, and then started the YouTube channel just this year. So there's a lot of YouTubers out there with a lot of great content. And I didn't want to just put out another, another channel that put out the same video. So I'm trying to offer something a little different with the podcast that can kind of be in the background. You can listen on like however you listen to podcasts on your phone, or you can listen like with YouTube in the background. But I've also started adding some things about the application and interview process because I did figure out that many people don't know. There's a lot of updates that kind of come and then they trickle down to the teachers that are referring and helping their friends join the company. So I am trying to keep some videos up there when things change with the mock classes and just the application process in general, trying to keep updates there as well.
Maybe you know the answer to this. I saw in a Facebook group, it was like they're switching to only 2-3 mock class 2-3 for everybody now, or is that just hearsay? Do you know?
Yes. Intermediate mock is no more.
Okay, so
Yeah. So it is just lower level. That is true. And they, they've changed the rubric just a little bit. So that's why I highly encourage anyone to come to the mock prep class, because we are going to coach to that. We're going to coach to what they are specifically looking for in that mock class. There are things that we go over that are probably going to be new. So highly encourage anyone that you're helping or that's interested in VIPKid and gets to that stage to come to the class first.
But teachers like us that are already hired can't come to learn new stuff.
No, you can't come. Well, that class is specifically for the mock class. I mean, we are basically coaching to the rubric so that they can pass the mock class, move into teaching. So I don't know that it would really help you. And also a lot of it would probably be review, right? You'd be like, I know this as a teacher. But the workshops that's what they're for the veteran teachers.
Oh my goodness, you guys are so funny. I don't know how you multitask so well. I multitask, but I'm not good at it. So yeah, Kelly was, I know, making a course on it. And that's partly why I was asking about the age group, because I was wondering what age group Kelly was doing too. So it's easier to make classes than I thought. Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Kelly talked about OutSchool yesterday on my channel too. So both of them are great resources.
Yeah.
How long does it, well, you said you only have a few videos up for where you actually videoed and edited, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long does it take you about?
It took me a long time to do it. The first one, I tried to be super special and I used Doodly. So like I put things.
I like that one.
Yeah. So I put things in Doodly so that it would come up on the video, and then like and made it match what I said in my podcast. Yeah. So I was like listening to my podcast, making a slide, listening to my podcast. So that would take forever. I mean, probably like 25 hours.
Yeah, you guys should go check that out. Even for all the hard work you did though, but that was an awesome video. I loved it.
So I was like, I think they really need to see something on YouTube and not just hear me. And so that's how I did that. And then I thought I cannot spend 25 hours on every video. Yeah. So I started just, it's basically just a blank image of like a podcast on a phone with my logo, and you can listen. So again, not something spectacular to watch, but you could listen to it in the background on your computer or something.
I hear that's how most people watch my videos, is like, they got to cook dinner or clean up, so they just put me in the background. Yeah. I laugh because my voice is my most like self-conscious thing that I worry about is my voice. So I think it's funny that people listen to my voice. All right, let's see. Okay, so I have the final 3 questions because I know you have to get going. What do you think are qualities of a good teacher?
Flexibility. Adaptability. I guess that's that's one. Flexibility and adaptability to the student. You really, with these one-on-one classes, you really have to have the ability to kind of meet your student where they are, whether that's scaffolding up or scaffolding down, being silly. If they enjoy that, or maybe you start being silly and you get blank stares and they're like, no teacher, well then bring it down, right? Be a little bit more serious. So yeah, definitely flexibility, adaptability to your student.
Good. And what are some of your upcoming goals?
Well, I with VIPKid or just in my life?
Just whichever you want to share.
So I'm pretty happy with VIPKid. I feel like I found my seat on the bus, helping people with my Facebook group, giving information, answering questions, training teachers. I really thoroughly enjoy all of that. Enjoy the team. The online coaching team is awesome. So I'm happy, I guess, with VIPKid, right? Like knock on wood. But I would like to be more consistent with OutSchool because I do enjoy it. Once I get that class listed and students signed up, I do really enjoy it. And so I wish that I did that more. I would like to wash my clothes
You said
More
wash?
often, I said wash my clothes. I am like the worst at it. Like, I mean, like I have like baskets. I'm going to put them in baskets in my closet, and
I,
then
I was thinking you meant because, a
No.
lot of us wear these shirts like 5 days in a row. After I'm
know.
done teaching,
I know.
I
I'm
go
like,
hang
this
it up.
is real life, y'all. I'm being real with you here from Georgia. Like, I mean, I just go buy another dirty clothes basket and put it on top and start putting them in there. And my husband comes home and he's like, bought another basket, I see. Like, so that's my goal is to like have a day. Like I want to have a day in the week that I wash my
I'm going to message you once a week. Hey, how's laundry?
yeah. I mean, I do, but it's bad because we taught our children how to wash their own clothes, because when I washed their clothes, it was better, right? I wanted my children in clean clothes. So it was, just a little bit better. But then when they turned 8, we trained them on how to wash their clothes. And when they were 9, when they were 8, they kind of got supervision, and it was like, hey, let's go wash your clothes, and I would wash them and make sure they're not going to like burn the house down or whatever. Put the wrong soap in.
I was just going to say, I have bubbles coming out the door.
Yeah. So when they were 9, I was like, hey, good luck with that. Let me know if you need anything. And so seriously, about once a month, they'll come to me and they'll be like, Mom, we're out of Tide. And I'll be like, oh, I didn't even know that, so then I have to go buy it. So that's what makes it, I think, extra worse. And of course, my husband has always done his own clothes because he is a saint. He married me, and he said he did not marry me to be his maid. And so he has always washed his own clothes. And so like, here I am, like wearing the same orange shirt every day, like you said. Mm-hmm. And I need to do, okay. Too much information, TMI. But yeah, that's my goal.
I'm full of it. I tell all about myself all the time. I'm terrible. I tattle on myself. Oh, Kelly said her age group is 12 to 17. Oh, interesting.
Right. Yeah.
So the last one, favorite professional development or teaching resource. Do you have time? I'm trying to.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Oh, that's hard. I would say Meetup. Like I'm going to say Journey. I know that the last one was canceled, but I have always learned a lot at Journey, going to the, from fellow teachers, as well as from people with the company and the experts that they bring in. And I leave Journey feeling energized, always with a couple of new ideas, some great props, some friends. Because that's what makes this job awesome, right? We have all these friends. They might be kind of online friends, internet friends, but totally awesome. And I've had, some of the best friendships I have right now in my little closet are the ones that are VIPKid teachers in their little teaching spaces as well. So I would definitely say Journey. Yeah.
Good. Okay. So, hey, Laura, thanks for coming. 2 Lauras are here. So, so you want to tell us tell everybody where they can find you?
Sure. So I tried to be really tech savvy about this. So
I was going to say, normally you've got them up on your screen.
Yeah, I try. I don't know how good. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see how well this works. So first of all, my Facebook page is VIPKid Friends. Highly recommend that. It's in the community directory, so you can find it actually from the portal now, or of course just search Facebook for VIPKid Friends. My podcast is VIPKid Mornings with Melissa, so it looks like that. And of course, it needs something added to it, but maybe there are some history interviews and postings, so you could find that. This my Instagram is Melissa M Teaches Online, which typically I just put my TikToks on there, my funny silly TikTok videos, and then like just share my post from Facebook and my group as well. And then last but not least is the YouTube, which is Teacher Melissa Miller. So
good. If you send me those links, I'll add them to the bottom. Right now, I have her YouTube in the description box, and we'll add the other ones when she has time to send them to me, which will probably be after 2:00.
Yeah. So I'm going to jump onto one of those online coaching sessions now, and have another interview helping an applicant after that, a referral applicant. So, but yeah, I'll definitely get those to you. Sorry, I didn't do it last night.
Oh no, it's all good. So, well, thank you so much for coming, Melissa, and thank you everyone in the chat. We still have 10 friends. Please give us a thumbs up here, and
Yay!
we
I
will
think-
see Melissa again tomorrow with another group that's going to talk about their different platforms. So yesterday we had, I don't know, I think 5 or 6 platforms that we talked about, and tomorrow we have almost a whole new panel with all different platforms. So pretty interesting there. Some I didn't know about. So, all right, everybody. Thanks again for coming. Thanks, Melissa.
All right. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.